Today at the barn, Wallie offered us an entirely new behavior, the front crunch. Zoe and Wallie were working on their Spanish walk, and Wallie was getting a little bit frustrated, not understanding which leg he was supposed to raise. So he raised his right one. That wasn't working, so he set it down right in position in front of him instead of bringing it back underneath. Then he tried his left leg, and when we clicked him for that, he set it right down next to the other one, also extended out in front of him. Hence, a front crunch. Even though it wasn't what we were asking for, we saw a great opportunity and clicked it, and he began offering them on his own. We needed to develop a separate cue, different from the Spanish walk cue, and Zoe came up with the idea of doing the splits to mimic the movement that Wallie is doing. From the start, this seemed like a behavior that Wallie was really eager to offer on his own. So really early in the process, we began to be able to put it on cue and to ask for more depth in the movement. In the front crunch, what you're looking for is the back legs to be perpendicular to the ground, the front legs to be straight out, and the head to be tucked under. The front crunch is an amazing stretch for opening up the shoulders of the horse and creating freer movement in the front end. If you've ever done yoga, you've likely done the downward dog position and can really relate to the sensations that Wallie is feeling during his front crunches. If you've never done this movement before, you might try it out. Simply start in a push-up position with your arms straight down to the ground. Then rock your hips back and let your hips go high to the sky and push your heart down towards the ground, letting it fall through your shoulder. You'll feel the way that the scapula separates and moves away from the back and really opens up. This is the same thing that happens in the horse's body. It's important to note that because this isn't a very natural movement for the horse that they do all the time, it may take some time for the opening to occur, and as they perform this movement over an extended period of time, they will be able to dip farther and farther down towards the ground. Here you can see Wallie performing a close cousin to the front crunch, called the back crunch. In this movement, the hind legs stay planted, but instead of being perpendicular to the ground underneath the horse's body, the front end of the horse comes far enough forward that the back legs are extended out at an angle also. The back crunch is a greater opening and stretch in the hind end of the horse because it tilts the pelvis forwards towards the ground. As you can begin to see, not only do these movements look really nice, they're also great exercises to help your horse prepare his body for higher level movements. As you can see, Wallie is really getting into it, dipping his chest deep towards the ground and curling his neck over, tucking his head back by his legs. All of this quality in the movement has been developed by shaping his behavior instead of trying to force him into a shape. We simply withhold the click until we get an execution that is slightly better in the area that we're looking for. After Wallie finished his crunches, he wanted to lay down. So Zoe blended in her cue and gave him the chance to roll around and let everything loosen up. Often stretching exercises like the crunches are a great way to get your horse motivated to lay down, because they will be ready to relax those muscles they've been doing so much work in. After working on the crunches on the ground, when Zoe got on to ride, Wallie offered one, with her on his back. She added a new cue, and I blended in the original cue from the ground, and in no time at all, Wallie was repeating the behavior on cue flawlessly. Today was a really great example of how you can take something that your pony offers you, and in almost no time at all, add it to his repertoire of known and loved behaviors.